First of all, I would like to welcome our neighbor Baltic States representative from Crowberry Capital in Vilnius, Donatas Keras.
How do people learn? I mean, not mentally how we learn, but how we incorporate what we learned in our daily actions. Answer? By doing things. By doing things many times, by winning small and big wins, and of course by making many mistakes and learning from them. That's how we learned what we do in venture capital. Our VC firm, Crowberry Capital, was launched in 2011 by 5 partners. We started strong, and for 2 first years made 1 investment per month. By now, we have done space, mobility, smart cities, fintech, even fried chicken. Over the last 7 years, we made 42 investments, and with 12 exits in our portfolio, we have many full-cycle experiences which taught us a lot. Now, we are launching our 3rd fund, 50 million euros, and I'm here to explain 2 things. What we can bring to you, and how you can enter to the partnership with us. Here are 5 most important things what we can bring to the partnership. First, resources, money. Money is a simple thing, and we have it. We fund our companies, keeping in mind decision speed, deal structuring, and right timing for your growth. Second, we can support you in all key areas of your business. B2B sales, marketing, fundraising. That's how we can help you grow fast. If you're in fintech, mobility, marketplaces, robotics, or avionics, even more so. Third, we want to enable, not to manage, which means there is a lot of freedom of action and business choices. We're active, we're supportive, we help if we can, but we really limit our interference. Fourth, proximity. We're here, we're close, fast and agile. Usual response time, interactions 4 to 12 hours. You can catch us in Vilnius, Riga, or Tallinn on a weekly basis. Fifth, we bring real and active network. Founders, co-investors, advisors, corporates. If used right, it's huge. Of course, many other things, just to mention the same things here. And now, how you, as founders, can enter this. First, we concentrate on Baltics and Baltic origin tech and innovation companies. That's very simple. Second, we are early stage investors, and we do late seed, A rounds, and we look for core team, MVP, some pilots or first revenues, and real know-how behind. Third, we need to achieve alignment of interest. Thank you.
You already got the neighbor bonus. I started it late, so.
Okay, thank you.
Come on, 2 minutes for questions.
Okay.
How big is your fund?
50 million euros.
When did you raise it?
We are closing it right now.
Okay. You said you have 12 exits. What's your average return in the fund?
On multiples?
Yeah. What's your multiple in the fund so far? What's your tracking?
Free.
Okay. Do you think you'll be able to raise the next fund?
Now we're thinking about deploying this one, but I'm sure in 5 years we're going to be able to raise number 4.
How much of the fund is committed already?
It's half of it.
Sorry,
committed to us or to the companies?
To the company. Oh, it's so committed to you right now. Okay,
to
so
us,
very
yes,
early
yes. And to the companies, we have 2 deals already on the table signed.
What's your investment track record before the fund?
Oh, combined, we have about 70 investments together and about 100 million of exits.
And what's the size of the check that you underwrite? What's the size of your typical investment?
Now, we typically done from 200 to 600,000 euros before, and with this fund, we're going to do about 1 million average.
Okay, if I take $1 million from you and my company is in trouble, how much you reserve for follow-up?
Oh, this is a very good question, and this is exactly how we operate. because we believe that the hard times is probably the most you need a partner with money. So we would be able to follow and to help you, because I
How
believe
much?
it depends, of course, what you need. If you're gonna ask 2 million.
How much do you reserve?
Okay. So we reserve 20% of a fund for follow-ons.
Okay.
So you mentioned you do early stage,
Yes.
and in the new fund, 1 million. What do you expect from a company who's going to reach out? What do they need to meet?
First, a couple of things what I mentioned already. I would expect core team, first of all, at least first revenues or real pilots already taking place or happening, and real know-how behind. This is 3 things what is most important. Afterwards, of course, we're going to go to the metrics, we're going to see other things, but these are core things.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we go from Vilnius to Stockholm. Anette, capital A.
Sorry. It's okay, you start this time.
All right, so if you have a letter combination in your venture, we are actually your money and your marketing and venture partner. Capital A Partner is a Nordic, US-based Nordic Baltic fund. We actually are looking into early stage, any kind of marketing. Wow, I'm totally, because whatever. Sorry about that. So we're a US-based Nordic fund. We do invest in early stage technology. I'm Anette Nordvall. I'm a tech investor, and I've invested in over 40 companies. My strength is to work with companies from the early seed stage for the later stage. Butterfly Ventures has actually our partnership in Finland, so we have invested in 8 companies together with them. We go in as early as 10,000 euros up to about €1 million euros in any kind of segment. We love actually working together with our corporate partners. We believe that that is the strength. We do anything human computing interaction, mobility, any kinds of different things. We're focused on the Nordic fund or the Nordic region and the Baltic countries. I'm out of Stockholm, and then we have Tanya who's with me there as well. We believe that we are the one that have a secret sauce because we are working with global partnerships. So these are the ones that we're working with today, both if you look into the business development relationships, but also with the takers that we know that will be the igniter for your invention later on. If you feel that this is something that you would continue to discuss with, I'll be more than happy to do so. We are solving a lot of challenges today in the digital space. We have partners in the US, in Israel, and also here, though, of course, in the Nordics. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to tell you more about what we can do with your letter combination than you ever thought of before. Thank you.
"45 seconds still left on the clock, huh?
I know.
Efficient. There we go. Thank you very much. And we're going to do a little dynamic change. We're going to bring on a surprise judge, Gleb. Maltsev is going to come in, fill the role, since we were missing 33% of our jury. Gleb has been doing professional coaching for startups and on pitching for years now. So I think very apropos for our jury. And you watch the whole thing, so you'll be able to criticize everyone, right? Okay, but no questions for you on this round. You guys, 2 minutes for questions.
Cool. So you've guys been around for a while. How many exits do you guys have?
We have done 4 exits from the first fund. I've personally done 5 exits in other ventures. So we work with the partners, and usually we create the partnership, and then it moves forward in that direction. An exit through that. We have done
cool.
2 IPOs as well.
So, and I assume you guys also save some reserve fund for startups if they are not as successful. So how do you guys handle that?
I didn't
Do you do any follow-ups if startup loses, sort of gets all the money is gone? things are not going
Yeah,
well.
that's the purpose with doing it, being able to do up to an A round and further on. So that's why we're creating the third fund, to be able to follow on. The Nordic fund here with Butterfly Venture is sort of a feeder fund to the US third fund that we're setting up.
But do you do follow-ups like if the other ones were
Yes,
doing
we allocate
20%?
capital for that, and it was one on the slides, it said that it was 40% that is saved for
40%,
follow-on.
okay,
Yeah.
cool, that's good.
I guess, first of all, your font is too small. Since we're criticizing pictures, then your font is way too small. I couldn't see anything. But like you said about corporate partners, I mean, everybody says about corporate partners. What does it mean? You know, can you pick up the phone and call the CEOs of those companies?
Yes.
Okay, all of them.
Not all of the CTOs, CEOs, and so forth, but
Okay.
they absolutely on innovation, yes.
So not
Where we
like
need
not
to
like the
have them.
corporate development or something like that.
Well, we work with, and the corporate collaboration program that we work with is set up for the corporates to have a wish list that we're searching for them. So we invest in innovation that the companies are looking for. We're not doing the reverse thing that you're figuring something out on the side and they say, ta-da, I'm here, here's my innovation, this is what I got. So we actually are searching for good innovation that we can implement into their ecosystem.
So give me a couple of examples where you specifically helped your companies to accomplish something with those corps.
Ericsson has applications that are doing with automation and then the 5G. We have 2 applications in there. We're also partners with their Garage Ventures, so we are actually in and working together with the innovations. And they do partnerships with them. We have GE Plastics in the US and DuPont and Bosch that we're working with on search lists.
Just gave you 4 at least, right? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next we have Veljo Otsasson from Superangels.
Hello. Hi. I'm Veljo from Superangel, and I prepared a 3-minute pitch today for today, but then just yesterday we had this Superangel skydiving pitch contest, and I was forced to pitch Superangel there. So let's look at this short 30-second pitch there, and then I'm gonna tell you a few things more. So can you run the video? I'm Veljo from Superangel, and I'm gonna jump off of this perfectly working airplane 4 kilometers high in the sky to pitch. So why not? And I like it because I like short pitches. You can't really go over time there. So let's do it.
I'm Veljo from Superangel, and we're the new seed fund and company builder in town. As founders ourselves, we know that building startups is freaking hard, and it's a lot like skydiving. Jump totally out of your comfort zone, but still having fun. So we know how to help, and we will push you out of the airplane. And we will make sure that you have a safe landing. So I also hope that we're gonna have safe landing now. And you should really talk to us if you have what it takes to build a global startup. And we will take you to the next level. And the sky is no longer the limit then. Woo! Let's do it! Great!
How was it, Veljo? Oh, that was awesome. It's beautiful up there. Oh. So, pitching is scary, but this was even scarier. I didn't even think about the pitching. So what do I have to add? Just a few things about our team. So I think what founders really like about our fund is that we are founders ourselves and we know how to help. Sorry.
You see the blinking red light.
Okay.
So if you guys want to get a cool movie made, this is the fund.
That was exactly.
Okay, you have any questions?
That was exactly my impression. It's a wonderful gimmick, but like, why should we take your money? Like, you haven't given us any reason.
Yeah, we are. I'm ready to give it now, so really quickly.
Too late now.
So, yeah, we are founders ourselves, so yeah, basically we know how to help. We have built up several companies together, like Mobi and Fortumo, and we are investors, early investors in many others, like Taxify and Pipedrive and others. So yeah, basically we have the experience as founders and as investors.
So how big is your fund?
Our fund is 12 million at the moment. We're going up to 20.
Okay, who are your LPs?
LPs are, well, there are institutionals like SmartCap and pension funds, and then there are a couple of successful Estonian mafia startup founders who have invested in our fund also, like the Taxify founders and Teleport, Sten Damgir from Teleport, etc. So yeah, so in that sense, we're really like from founders to founders fund.
So what's the typical thing you look in a startup that you want to invest in?
Well, we're really early stage, so we mostly look at the team, whether it's there is enough ambition and the vision and kind of relentless force to go forward. Yeah, basically that's it. So and getting things done, some kind of proof in getting things done.
So in your case, status, having a product, none of that matters as much.
Well, it matters, like the general field of business matters, definitely. We want to make sure that it's possible to build a scalable global company out of it.
Hi. By the way,
Hi.
your pitch was 51 seconds, not 30 seconds.
Oh,
just
okay.
quick feedback if you want timing-wise. Next time,
Sorry.
just quick feedback. Now, I hear a lot of pitches, beautiful stories a lot of time. Very few people actually admit the challenges they have. What's the single biggest challenge that you had by sitting on a board with a founder that you had to face, that you can disclose? I understand there's NDAs and all that stuff. Are you willing to share this? Did you have a few screw-ups along the way, if I may ask?
Oh, quite many, of course, but most of them can't be really shared. So, what can I say? Well, it's a tough one. Yeah. Well, it's basically there are several issues that founders often have, like with other team members, like founder disputes, investor relations, and yeah, also like go-to-market issues. So we're basically aiming to help the startups out of those things.
I do have one last question. Like with a new fund like yours, my worry as a founder would be that you're not going to be around in 5 years. You're not going to be able to raise your second fund. Why should I believe that you would?
Well, this is in a way our second fund, because previously we invested through Mobi and Astrek. We made quite a few like successful investments and also exits. So I believe we can repeat that in a bigger scale now and raise the next fund too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Veljo. Quicker. And we go from Tallinn to Reykjavik. Next we have Jenny Ruth from Crowberry Capital.
So familiar to be here. You know, we just founded Crowberry last year. So we pitched like there was no tomorrow. We ran like crazy, and we raised the fund in only 7 months. So, you know, good things can come from anywhere. And the Icelandic football team here, they're a living proof of that. They have shown the world that you can build your dream from wherever, no matter how small they say you are. So if you believe in your mission, you will find backers to complete it. Backers like us. We have a fresh fund. Our ticket sizes start at 500K, and we can deploy up to 7 million into one company.
Thank you.
But before the Crowberry team came together, we worked in tech and venture all around the globe. So no borders is deeply rooted into our culture. And our 6-person team, you can see on the map where our 6-person team has worked and lived. This is us. You know, some VCs will offer you back office support. We don't believe in that. We believe that it's our role to have your back and support you in building your teams. And we'll do that by opening up our network and sharing our experience. And we are first and foremost techies. You know, Gummi here in the middle, he has built 2 startups. The first one, Siri, he sold to Apple, and the second one was bought by Google. Helga has made 14 startup exits as a VC. Hekla, she ran operations for Oser in Shanghai. And I led a spin-out from the MIT Media Lab backed by General Catalyst. So we have a lot of experience running through our veins. We would love to share it with you and help you realize your dream. Thank you.
Oh, nicely done. Good finish. Look at that. Use all the clock. 2 minutes.
I love that.
Oh, thank you.
So when did you raise your fund?
Sorry?
When did you raise your fund?
We raised it last year. We closed it in July last year.
And why should I believe that you guys will be around in 5 years?
Oh, because we have been in venture for long. I mean, tech and venture is like deeply rooted into our DNA. That's sort of where we have stayed all our lives. We were with an evergreen fund before, part of the team, and part of the team has only been in tech.
Okay, so I already managed to ask it off stage, but where do you focus in terms of who do you invest in? What's your primary
Right,
focus?
yeah. Our focus is sort of where our backgrounds are, because we really like to share our knowledge and, you know, back the team so that we have something to bring to the table. So it's fintech, it's digital health, and then software as a service in B2B. And of course, Gummi, he is like, in speech recognition, like deep.
Thank you very much. One of the key questions I ask founders is the question why. It's a simple question, a very insidious why.
Right.
I want to understand why you specifically care so much at giving back, helping the founders, because this is very much a profit-oriented business.
Right.
It's very greedy, if you may, occasionally. I'm pushing you a little bit. I want to understand why you specifically, well, you care. And there's a different way of saying it, which is more brutal.
Right. I mean, I've just been on that side of the table. I mean, I'm an engineer. I've started a startup. I know the route that you're going through. And I just love tech. And I love to see more tech develop in the world. And I think this is a good way to accomplish that. To run a fund and back other teams, you know.
Thank you.
And I guess I asked that question to everybody before. So how much of the fund you reserve for follow-ups in case the company is in trouble?
Right. So our ticket sizes are at 500K, can start there, and we can deploy up to 7 million, but that's of course maybe two or three companies in the portfolio. So it's about 60%, roughly 60% that we reserve.
Okay, so you're doing the range from like seed to all the way to Series B for small companies.
B, possibly, yeah.
Don't be handing that off.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we go from Reykjavik to Brussels. Jürgen, B-Hive. Clickers right here.
Okay, do you hear me? Okay. When I was 28 years old, I wanted to conquer the universe, and so I did. I started this technology company, Clear2Pay, in 2000, and built software for the back office of banks, 530 customers, 1,100 employees, as you can see. But I sold the company about 2 years ago to FIS, which is one of the largest fintech players, in 2014. And then I went to CEO, and he said to me, well, the next wave is going to be companies that are created within ecosystems. So you should create an ecosystem. So in 2014, I said, that's a good idea. So I created this ecosystem, B-Hive, which included 15 of the largest banks in the world, together with almost now 200 startups and scale-ups. And we actually built a full community and created a lot of cool stuff. And then I looked at it and I said, well, this is all great information, great knowledge about the sector, so I should do something with it. And so, unfortunately, the dark side in myself was too strong. So I created a venture capital firm. So Smartfin Capital is my company, together with some LPs. It's about 200 million. We invest in startups and scale-ups, so there's two separate funds, 125, 175. Europe-focused, so not the States, not Asia. Technology-focused, with a bit of fintech, and really, truly hands-on. I know VCs always say we're hands-on. We are truly hands-on, because we like to be in the dirt, in a way. These are some of our companies. Maybe you know MariaDB, which is a Finnish company, a database, pretty cool company. And so that's it. May the force, well, maybe the VC be with you. And moreover, one more thing, we're from Brussels. So Brussels is known for chocolate and beer, which means that if you come over, you can drink a lot of beer, and then you can buy chocolate for your wife because you come home with too much alcohol in your blood. So it's a perfect place to be. Thanks.
Another bold decision to leave over a minute left on the game clock. That's confidence. 2 minutes for questions. It doesn't carry over, by the way.
Hi.
Hi.
You mentioned like you're truly hands-on. What does that mean?
Truly hands-on means that you try to understand and you're really involved, not just on the board drinking a coffee and looking at numbers, but really, if there's a problem, you intervene, you help with the ERP integration system, you help with the bonus structure, how to set it up. You really help trying to squeeze time for the entrepreneurs by really knowing what to do and how to do it.
So micromanaging.
Sorry?
So micromanaging.
No, it's not micromanagement. No. I leave that up to the entrepreneurs. I can tell you that. But the point is, if you know how to do it, you win time. I give you an example on ERP. A lot of companies integrate an ERP, then they have this whole group, 6 months where they work, they have 7 vendors come, they make this great portfolio report for the board, and then they decide, and in 80% of the time, they decide the one that all of them choose. So if they would have known which one to choose, they could have known that, and they would have win time. So the whole philosophy is to win time. So I help basically companies to win time by pointing out guys who can help them with sales in a certain geography, by pointing them to customers that we know, entrance with the CEOs of banks and all of that stuff. And of course, the ecosystem works a lot, because it's thanks to the ecosystem that we can do that.
Are you the only partner?
I'm the only partner, yes.
Wow.
2 questions. I'll follow up on this one. What if you get hit by a bus?
Sorry?
What if you get hit by a bus?
Then I'm sure that there will be others who will gladly take my place with the portfolio we have.
But my original second question, thank you for the answer. I'm going to keep it short. I'm not going to follow up too much. VCs, there's a saying, as soon as you take VC money, the clock starts ticking, and eventually your company is going to be sold off. I guess this is how you get your returns and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, yeah.
And I understand. And to build a really global, big business, then somebody like you on the board constantly pushing for, well, let's say the numbers, and eventually being sold. You know, what's your philosophy on that, Mr. Darkside?
We're not a closed-end fund. We're an open fund. So we're an evergreen. So which means that I don't have to sell if I think it's not the right time. If I need to, because let's say that the market turns, I don't have to sell. I don't have a period of 10 years, so I can sell whenever I want, which is a great advantage.
I saw you taking the breath already. It was coming. All right, great. Thank you.
Thanks.
And next we have Alla from New York with Starta Ventures.
Hi guys, I would like to show you something that you can probably all relate to, no matter what stage your company may be, but all the entrepreneurs experience a constant, extreme constant level of emotions. It's like, look at this slide. So, I'm sorry, I'm a bit jet-lagged from New York, but I'm trying my best. But at the end of the day, isn't this what makes a life of a startupper is really exciting? My name is Alla Levina, and my love for startups led me to my role as a head of program at Starta Accelerator in New York. My job revolves around helping companies with their day-to-day struggles. I focus on helping build successful global businesses and contributing funds in early-stage tech companies. Prior to joining Starta, I built and managed my own companies, so I'm in a good position to be a trusted partner on this journey. For startups, of course. Starta Accelerator is a part of a global VC brand called Starta Ventures. In our portfolio, we have 60 companies, and our mission is to break through the traditional VC barriers and empower the next generations of tech entrepreneurs. We focus on exceptional talent from Eastern Europe, so you guys, our exact target group. Last year, Starta became the first fund in the world that issued an ICO. So this money we used for our flagship program called Starta Accelerator. Let me tell you a bit more about our acceleration program. So we do way more than write you a check. We invest and help you to build your network by opening doors that are typically unreachable for early-stage company on a new market. We already accelerated more than 50 companies. We have 2 cohorts per year. And what else? I forgot to to change slides. Okay, so now we are currently recruiting our next batch. So if you're interested in joining me and start in our journey in New York, please come to me. And if you're an investor, we'll be happy to talk to you as well. That's it.
Hi. How do you compare to more known accelerators, investors such as Techstars, for example? How do you compare to other accelerators and VCs like Techstars?
Actually, we focus on Eastern European companies, so we know all the pains. And because we are originally, we started in Russia as a Russian fund, so actually, our program designed to Eastern European companies, especially because if you're coming to US, it's like completely different for you, everything, like, you have a lot of barriers. So we're just trying to help. It's like a soft landing for companies.
So you're focusing on the cultural.
Starta is kind of bridge, so then you can go to other accelerators. It occurs as well.
So based on your first slide and like you talk about needing to support the entrepreneurs, like the way now imagine Starta Accelerator is that there's like couches and people lying on the couches and the partners coming and saying, how do you feel and what's happening? Is that the case? Because it is, it's awesome. It was a question.
All right, could you rephrase that, please? I'm going to call you out. What's the question, man?
So is it like that? How do you support the entrepreneurs? What do you do for them to help them on this very tough journey?
So actually, as I mentioned, we have a program. It's 14 weeks program, and we support them. Like we invest in them, and we provide all mentorship, so they can easily and really, really fast to understand the market and what's going on in the community as well.
And thank you very much. And we go from New York to Copenhagen with Wave Ventures, Daniel.
Thank you. Working? Testing. Can you hear me? No? Yeah? All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Daniel Bakh, and I am with Wave Ventures. And we're kind of a unique model in the sense that we're the first student-run venture fund in the Nordics, as well as one of the first student-run venture funds in Europe in general. We started this about 1.5 years ago for 3 main reasons. First of all, because we wanted to boost the Nordic ecosystem as one whole unit instead of 4 separate parts, and we're actually also looking at the Baltics now. And we do this by backing a diverse set of founders from day one and being there at a grassroots level with the founders. And we also did this to educate young talent, which applies both to us as fund managers as well as the founders that we invest in. So basically, we also want to facilitate a strong network and relationships between founders, investors, as well as LPs. And last but not least, we also want to drive social impact and, of course, financial returns for our LPs. And we do this by de-risking and essentially validating pre-seed companies and then facilitating follow-on investment and validating these cases. And last, of course, we also want to encourage more student entrepreneurs to take the founder route instead of go get a boring old job at a corporate. So our team, most of us, we hail from Slush, which I'm sure you might have heard of. And one of our founders is now leading Slush as the CEO there. And we've also had the pleasure of working at international startups across the globe, as well as incubators and some Fortune 500 companies. And we're currently based headquartered in Helsinki, but based as well in Sweden and Denmark. I personally live in Copenhagen and run the Danish division. A little bit about our process as well. We're very fortunate to have a pretty decent amount of deal flow from of course, from our personal network, warm introductions and whatnot, which is the traditional route, but also from programs, accelerator programs and community events, especially Slush, and also our network with universities and research institutions across the region. We typically look at about 100 cases per month, and then we end up investing in typically 1% of these, and our average ticket size is 50,000 euros. That's either on a convertible note or on equity terms that align with our lead investors. And of course, we always try to encourage founder-friendly terms, and we don't try to work with predatory investors. And sometimes we have the freedom to invest alone as well if we want to write sort of a discovery check, you could call it that, and just be the very first money into the company. And that brings me to our portfolio. Here's a quick snapshot.
Do you feel the Grim Reaper coming?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll speed it up a bit. So.
No, there's no bit. See, when that clock.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
We all got into this knowing this is just like the startups get abused. I mean, how? I'm sorry. It was a mispronunciation. Give me. Thank you.
Yes.
2 minutes for questions.
All right, I'll keep it short, man. Now, it's you know the expression "learning on somebody else's dime."
Yes.
Now, seems like a student-focused thing would be exactly this. You take around like 12 a year, so one company, so 1% of 100, so one company, so 12 companies a year. You are investing into them, 50K. So you give them money to learn, essentially, to continue schooling. Now, it sounds like a very good charity to help out, but does it actually does the risk profile and return match here? Do you know?
Well, I definitely would not call it a charity, but we are aligned with our own LPs who are individuals. We're mostly angel investors, and we're aligned in our vision to prioritize community building. But of course, I'm not saying that we don't want to have financial returns. We are still a venture fund at the end of the day, but community building is our #1 priority. And our investors, they are completely aligned with that vision.
What does it actually mean to Intron? Like, are you studying, or is everybody just...
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm still in the final stages of my studies. I focus most of my time on this, and then I try to study when I have some spare time. And but some of us have already graduated and then has taken a more passive role.
So what's the benefit for a company from taking money from somebody who actually doesn't have any experience as an investor?
Sure. So, of course, coming out of Slush, that's an amazing opportunity to build a really strong network. And in my personal opinion, network is the #1 asset that you can provide to your portfolio companies. So that is where we provide the most value. But then, of course, whatever we might hypothetically lack in experience, we complement with our, unfortunately, I didn't get to that part, but we complement that with advisors and mentors from some of the top funds in the region.
Man, if you're coaching startups, be on time with your pitch. That's my only takeaway. All right?
Got it. I'll make a note.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we go from Copenhagen to Krakow. And Innovation Nest,
I'm here.
Chris.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you. Aren't you supposed to say like 3 minutes, be on time, and so on?
I think you know the rules. Make sure you watch the clock.
All right. Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm here to tell you about Innovation Nest. Innovation Nest is a VC firm backing European early-stage B2B software companies. So what does that mean? That means that we've been doing it for the last 7 years. We have 37 companies in our portfolio that spreads around Portugal, Germany, UK, Poland, Hungary, and Slovenia. We do early stage, so that means that we work with companies that are doing at least 5,000 monthly recurring revenue, and that goes up to 125, but our sweet spot is right there between 10 to 40K MRR. And we do only software B2B, so we don't do marketplaces, we don't do platforms, we don't do social, and everything. That's our team. You should have read it by now. So our portfolio, Fund 1, more or less separates into a couple of different clusters. So we did industry-specific digitalization tools, where we helped fitness clubs, we did ERP solutions for the engineer design companies, and so on. But then we also did a couple of horizontal tools, such as UXPin, which is a design system for organizations, and so on. We did a couple of developer-oriented platforms, and our interesting, for us interesting, but usually boring kind of companies are the Industry 4.0, where we already have 5 of them, 3 from first fund and 2 from the second fund. We have 11 companies with the second fund. Second fund right now is 25.5 million. We're still raising it. That's an overview of more or less the rest of our portfolio. So how do we work with that portfolio company? So we do a couple of different things, and I'm going to name a few of them. So as I mentioned, we're based on microthesis. So we do have the Industry 4.0, we have the digitalization of assets and processes, we do disruptive tech, and a couple more different microtheses. Our partners have an entrepreneurial background, so they all exited companies. They created one of the biggest horizontal platforms in Poland, big social media platform, also in Poland in the past, way before Facebook. And then Pusher is the developer tool that you may be familiar with. So we have a big network. We work with close to 200 different mentors. So usually when a company has a problem, we do have at least 2 people that are supporting that company. But most importantly, we're not a single round investor. So we invest across at least two next rounds. So we enter at around seed or late seed stage, then we do a follow-on on Series A, and hopefully follow-on Series B. And we usually help those companies to fundraise. So to give you 2 case studies, UXPin, a company we invested back in 2012, we helped them to flip to a US company where we introduced them to Gil Penchina that ended up raising with True Ventures, Andreessen & Horowitz, and Freestyle VC. Elmoldi's, again, Industry 4.0 company based in Krakow. We helped them to raise with Intel Capital. Early stage B2B software in Europe. That's what we do. My name's Chris. Mail me there.
Uh-oh. Somebody did their homework.
It was
All
7 seconds.
Beautiful, beautiful.
There we go. A clicker, right?
Thank you.
All right, we have a blooming bromance happening here. Chris. All right, Chris. Next time you're working with the portfolio companies, ask them to slow down with the pitch.
All right.
You're a machine gun.
I am. That's true.
You know all that. So words per minute count could be a little lower. Can come down now. We get the nerves. Slides, man. Tons of text. If you ask them what people will remember, difficult time. I'm listening to you. I'm reading the slides. I'm listening to you.
All right.
Half gets lost. That's my key feedback.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
So Gleb is nice. I'm not nice. So it's wonderful that you had so much text on your slide and was speaking so quickly, but you didn't tell me anything about your fund. How big is it? When was it raised?
Sure.
Like, what is your,
It's our second fund. Currently, it's 25 million. We're still raising it. The first one was 7.5. So that's the size of the fund. It's raised from our LPs for the second fund include EIF and also private individuals.
And why should I believe that you guys will be around in 5 years?
Well, we've been ongoing for the last 7 years. Our second fund will last for next 4 years, so we'll definitely be there in 5. The question is, like, will we be there in 10 years? I hope yes, because we see the growth of our first portfolio. We don't have any exits yet, but it looks promising. If we'll be able to exit the first portfolio, then we'll definitely raise this third fund. If not, then I better start doing something else.
Nice answer. And how much do you reserve for follow-ups?
At least 50%.
You have a good, strong focus. So how do you, besides like you mentioned, you help them raise money and you help them to get the contacts. How hands-on are you in their day-to-day life?
So it depends. We do different models. So either we're a lead investor and then we work on monthly basis, weekly basis with companies. It depends what do they need. And we do co-investment. So if we're a co-investor, then it's more reactive. If they need some help, then yeah, we help them. But if they don't, then we just stay in touch and ask if everything is going fine.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool.
Very good. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. And we go from Krakow to London. From Dawn Capital, Joyce.
So hello, I'm Joyce. I'm a principal at Dawn Capital, which is the leading European scale-up fund focused exclusively on B2B software and fintech. In startup land, there's a saying, it's all about team, 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 and team. So who are the people behind Dawn Capital? You have the old-timers here who formed the fund over 10 years ago to meet a gap in the funding market, which is specialist operators and investors who have built and experienced the up and down journey from day zero through to successful public exits. And the new generation, who also have experience with product, sales and marketing, and investing. I spent the majority of the last decade in finance, with the past 4 years in particular, focused on European tech, first as a bootstrapped entrepreneur, and then 3 years ago, accidentally leaping into the world of VC. These days, it seems everyone is able to raise a fund. So what does that mean for us in all this noise? We are the largest B2B fund in Europe. Our third fund, $235 million, which we recently announced last month, is bigger than all the previous funds combined, because we have a successful track record of backing founders that stand to build companies which test the stand of time. This has provided us with the top 10 performance globally. In venture, just like in startups, 95% of businesses do not make money for their investors. This is just the harsh reality and truth. So it's very unusual to have a fund that not only provides returns, but does it for the top 2 performing funds globally. You can't argue with numbers. We can go back and look at it again. With our new fund of $235 million, we're looking to do the same. And public sources will agree with our numbers, is that the top 10 performing funds in Europe, we are amongst the top 2 of them. My first week at Dawn, a founder asked me, capital is cheap these days. What do you really offer? If anyone has ever read the book by Aaron Ross called Predictable Revenue, you'll recognize this chart, which is how do you build a commercial engine behind a really great product? Well, our USP is that we have worked with entrepreneurs that have built big businesses, and we've been through the mistake ourselves. What we offer to you is saving time and also attracting talent that is much better than what you can offer today. And surprise, surprise, this is the big main point.
Don't look at her, don't listen to her. It's done. Okay. No. Nice try, but 2 minutes, question answered.
Fine.
Get it in there, and the answers.
Joyce, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Numbers, I will not argue with the numbers.
Yeah.
What I will ask you is,
Okay.
what if a founder
Yes.
would come to a meeting with a phone and read their pitch?
Touche.
Is that what you say?
Yes, of course. I can tell you that it gives a certain level of confidence to have something in front of you, but I can also deliver the pitch in front of you without a phone.
I would love to see that bit
Okay.
later. Thank you.
Should I do a little dancing song along with it?
Hi.
Hello.
You told really a lot about the fund and
Yeah.
how well you're operating. As a startup, can you tell me a little bit more why you and not the others? Because I'm not yet convinced, besides that you make good money out of everyone you invest in.
So I would say one of the great things about the Nordics is that there's incredibly amount of talent here, and people really know how to build great products that take the customer through the journey. What is the challenges that we've seen through a lot of the businesses we back, whether it's iZettle, which announced their acquisition to PayPal last week for $2.2 billion, is it's incredibly hard to build the Lego pieces which form the commercial engine for a business. So how do you think about marketing, and what are the various channels that you can do that? How do you think about sales, whether it's building an inside sales team or a field sales team? How do you go about doing that and attracting the right people, building processes around that, and enable scaling from a business governance perspective? And how do you think about success, customer success in particular? As your product and business get to certain skills, you need to continue convincing your customers and growing with your customers throughout the journey as they grow.
So if you're incredible experts at markets and marketing and so on, why do your slides look so bad?
I'm sorry? Well, tried my best with yellow, and Dawn yellow.
We have a penalty on a judge up front here. I'm sorry. 2-minute minor. All right. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Off the stage. Let's go. We go from London back to Copenhagen, and it's Christian from Futuristic.
Thank you. Yeah, hey guys, I'm Christian and I run Futuristic, a small fund in Copenhagen. So I think we have a problem in the Nordics, which is that we have the best founders in Europe by far. Look at the track record, Spotify, TransferWise, Skype, Unity, all came out of here, yet I believe that early stage investors have yet to follow that suit. When I was raising money for my own startup, this is often what I encountered. Grumpy guys in suits that don't really get your visions. So when I was done with my startup, naturally I founded my own fund because I wanted to create a founder-friendly, early-stage, transparent fund that actually creates actual value for your founders. But rather than talk about myself, I'll talk about some of the teams we've backed. So David and his team at PeerGrade are trying to scale education with peer feedback via machine learning. They recently graduated from YC and have already raised funds from some of the best funds in Europe. Charlotta previously built Sweden's largest healthcare provider when she raised over $30 million for Min Doctor. Now she is at her second stint, where she's trying to scale the healthcare experience for good. And Sky Garden, recently named one of the 3 fastest growing companies in Kenya by World Bank, are trying to democratize e-commerce for small vendors and take on Rocket Internet. These are some of the teams that we've backed, and we're really, really proud to say that we have a strong bias towards teams that are solving meaningful problems in the world. So some of the hard facts about our fund. We try to be the first money in. We're in this sort of pre-seed new micro VC layer. We invest up to 100,000 euro into the companies we back. We're based in Copenhagen, but we're investing all over the Nordics. We've already done deals in Denmark, Sweden, and Finland. We've yet to do our first in Tallinn, so if you are based here, come speak to me. And we started the fund around a year ago, so I can't talk to you about our exits, but I can tell you some of the people we've co-invested with. That is the likes of Atomico, YC, Project A, Nordic Makers, and Buy Founders, among others. We've done 10 investments so far. Our fund is around $2 million from the first one. And we'll be building a track record of around 30 startups and then start raising our next fund beginning of next year. Yeah. And this is our slogan: we invest in beautiful minds, building epic companies. Thank you, guys.
So you mentioned
Zero the clock out, 2 minutes.
So you mentioned that your maximum investment is about 100,000. How about follow-ups?
We don't do follow-ups.
You don't do.
So we are strictly positioned in the market to be the first check-in. We want to have provide the best possible first investors that you can get. So our main value proposition actually to get you connected with all the seed stage VCs that will help you carry the next rounds. So we're not here to make the big follow-ons for our first fund.
Now, you're from Copenhagen, right? Do people in Copenhagen smile?
Let me tell you one thing. We have been named the happiest country in the world for so many years in a row. And then last year, the Finns come, and they take it. So it will be a little while, but I promise you, in a few years, Copenhagen people will smile a bit more.
Now, I understand that you have plenty to smile about in your fund. Now, you have a few exits you cannot tell us about, I understand. But can you tell me at least about one founder that you personally been working with that you are excited about, and maybe share their story in 15, 20 seconds or so?
Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about David from Peergrade. So David is this amazing enigma of a founder. He is a PhD in machine learning who taught the class at his own university, and the class simply got too large. So he built his own software to build peer grading software to actually help scale his own class. And then one thing led to the other, and all of the other people at the university started pulling in him and saying, hey, can we use it too? So we came to David just after they graduated YC and have been working with him to help put together the larger round in his company. And they ended up raising money from some of the best VCs in Europe, like Atomico and some of the larger funds. So yeah, but that is my primary thing where I provide help fundraising.
Good job. Excellent. That was, Chris, you're right, that was fun. Exactly as you said. So the jury will now have, let's say, 10 minutes to talk amongst yourselves, pick a winner. We're going to announce the winner in the beginning of the next panel, okay? So pick a spot to sit down, pick a winner, and the rest of you will hear and come back for the next panel in 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, as I promised, before we start the next panel, I have invited the head of the jury from our VC reverse pitch competition to come and tell us who won and why. I have no idea. I don't have the answer. I don't know who won, so announce it live here now.
You won.
Oh, yes! Sweet! Product placement, too.
So actually, we were quite unanimous that the winner is Crowberry Capital and Jevgeni Ruth Hrafnsdottir, I hope. So congrats on that. Your pitch struck the best balance of content, passion, and kind of like message, right? So congrats on that. And just FYI, the runner-ups were Capital A partners, B-Hive, and Futuristic VC. So these were the 3 runner-ups. Congrats, guys, you did great.